Hi, my name is Scott W. Baker. I am a wedding photographer based in New York City, and I shoot all over New York City. I do weddings, I do portraits, I do corporate work, still lifes and food, but mostly weddings. Today I wanted to talk about the Fuji XT-1. The XT-1 is an amazing camera. This particular version that we have in front of you right now that I'm holding, which I bought about a month ago, is the body with the kit lens 18-55 with the very hard to come by battery grip and it is simply an amazing camera. I will go into some depth to give you the overall understanding and my sense of its place in the Fuji lineup. First and foremost, if you look on the top of the camera, starting here, we have an ISO dial with settings from low to high and ultra high, and auto ISO. And the range, the normal range, is 200 ISO to 6400 ISO, but it can go as high as 50,000 ISO if you're shooting in JPEG only. It is a metal knob with a little push button here that allows you to make setting changes. Sorry about the lighting, but doing the best we can here. This little button here, you push that in and make setting changes by turning the knob. Below that are a secondary loop that allows you to do bracketing or the frame rate that you want to shoot at, low, single, or continuous high. For wedding and sports photography, yes, sports photography, you can use this up to 8 frames per second. On top, additionally, you have a spot here for a flash. What is a little different about this particular one is it has a few extra connection points, and they sell it, and when you buy it, it comes with a very small slide-in pop-up flash that has no battery. And you will say, why no battery? Well, because it's powered off the internal battery of the camera itself, and it has a very low guide number of about 8. The beautiful thing about that little pop-up flash is you can carry it anywhere. It's super light, and it allows you to do little fill-in flash when you just need a little kiss of light. Folds down, push a little button on the back, and off she comes. Back to the camera. Right here, we have the speed shutter dial. Push the middle to turn it. Shutter speeds up to 4/1000ths of a second. As you well know, Fuji probably made a little bit of a boo-boo here by not going as high as 1/8000th of a second, but overall you can work with it. Below that is a secondary knob for metering pattern, and then over here we have a third dial which is for exposure compensation, and in this case is 3 f-stops. It is well balanced. It has enough resistance so it doesn't easily come off the 0 detente and suddenly you're 2 stops overexposed. It is a X-mount camera. As you well know, X-mount lenses, there are about 15 to 20 of them now with the gold contacts. That's pretty cool there, isn't it? You can see my face through there. This lens is the kit lens. It's equivalent to 28 to 84, 85, 86 millimeters and 35 equivalent. Very robustly built, mostly metal with a hood. You could use this as your only lens and you'd be just fine. On the side of the lens here, it has aperture and fully programmable. If you don't want to do any thinking at all, you turn the shutter speed to A, the auto ISO to A, and that to A, and you're fully programmable. I like to shoot aperture preferred, in which case you push this little button here to the aperture symbol. Below that, to the left of it, is the optical image stabilization. If you turn that on, it turns the lens to an optically stabilized lens, which is pretty cool. The next most amazing feature is the fact that it has a tiltable screen on the back. This tiltable screen allows you to shoot from pretty much any position when you are in a crowd, for instance. Now what I am noticing here is there we go. The screen can tilt up like this, so you can put the camera down by your waist and still be able to look. Very cool. On the back you have the dials and buttons as you are used to. Focus assist, the Q button, the menu button. The pushing in of these buttons here, the resistance is less than perfect. It would be nice if it was more pronounced, the button sticking out, but it's something that they're working on, and it's pretty cool. Right up here, this dial, when you turn this, controls aperture internally, or if you have already taken the shot, if you push the playback button, which is right there, it allows you to zoom in up to 200 or 300% to see, check your focus, which is very cool. The camera is aluminum alloy. It's extremely well built and robust. It's weather sealed, and there are 3 lenses coming out in the next 6 months by Fuji that are weather sealed lenses, which means they can be used in the rain, in a hurricane. The camera is also good down to 14 degrees Fahrenheit. It's incredibly robust and can take a beating, bottom line. I would not be at all uncomfortable going out in pretty much any weather and shooting with this. Because they have so many nice primes now, they have a 14mm, 18mm, 23, 27, 35, and the real sweetheart is the 56mm 1.2, which is an 85 equivalent portrait lens. The only other manufacturer to do that lens is Canon, and that lens costs $2,000 or more, whereas the Fuji 56 1.2 is $1,000, and sometimes even that's rebated. The sensor is the organic sensor that they used on the 100S. It has 2 different modes of focusing, and it's extremely fast. The shutter lag is almost non-existent. This also has face detection, which allows you to focus quickly in a moving crowd on one person's face or multiple faces. It is very robustly built. One of the really amazing things is something that's going to be hard to show, but the electronic viewfinder up at the top there is huge. When you look through it, it looks like a full frame digital SLR in terms of optical size and viewing and what you can see. Sharp as a tack. In fact, the magnification, when you look through here, is so big that it's the equivalent of a Canon 1DX. In fact, it's slightly bigger. The 1DX comes in at a magnification of 0.76. This little puppy comes in at 0.77. It is, in fact, the largest magnification out there. That's pretty impressive for an APC camera. The battery grip can be easily removed simply by unknurling this on the bottom here, unscrewing this. There's connectors here, gold connectors that send the signal through here. There's a little storage area for the rubber cap that protects the camera when you have this separated. This only takes 1 battery, which you slide in. gives you about 700 shots if you're using the camera with the battery grip. My preference would have been if Fuji had put 2 batteries in here so you could get up to 1400 shots. To me, that would be extremely professional. That is one area they need to beef it up. It's well built, cost about $250. It's extremely hard to come by online, but you will eventually be able to get it. The camera, ergonomically speaking, is fantastic. It's easy to hold. When you look through it, it's like shooting one of the cameras from the late 70s. It is just a pleasure to shoot with. I shoot with it every day. My life depends upon it. I'm a wedding photographer, so I gotta nail it. I use it with the grip because I would like to get the extra battery power. And strangely enough, brides like to see a wedding photographer show up with some bigger equipment. They get sort of spooked if you only show up with a small camera. So I actually bring this along with the grip because what the bride wants to see is that you have all this big, massive equipment, and therefore you must really know what you're doing. When in fact you could just use the small body here and 2 or 3 primes and call it a day. I highly recommend this camera. The weaknesses, to be honest, are very minimal. The weather sealed is really cool. The new weather sealed lenses coming out are going to be great. There's already a 10 to about 15 millimeter super wide zoom. The 56 millimeter f1.2. The one area where Fuji needs to improve their game and get a higher level of professionalism to really capture the pro level market is in the flash area. This camera uses some antiquated flash technology, and they need a pro-level wireless pro system of flashes to really push this into the next level. I'm fairly certain they will come out with that in the next 6 months to a year. If you want a great camera that gives magnificent image quality, that shoots raw, JPEG, 8 frames per second, can pretty much handle anything you throw at it, the Fuji XT-1 is your puppy. If you need to see any more of my videos, check out my channel. My website has my work, scottwbaker.com. Thank you for watching.